Let's do OpTic then. The other side of the coin. Just a phenomenal weekend. Like, they're actually now on a 7 series win streak, which is quite impressive. And I'm sure their map records across that is very good as well. Just everything about this team feels just what the last year's team needed, but that has actually been delivered, you know? Like, it seems to me the perfect combination of what Dallas had and what OpTic had and what the teams lacked when they were individual entities. Like, OpTic last year lacked fundamentals and clutch factor. Dallas last year lacked slaying, effectively. And now you've got Dashy and Scump on that team instead of Crim and Vivid, and you've still got shotzzy and illey. And huge credit to illey. I was like the only person who had him in the top 10 players going into this major when Crone did the kind of list. I had him at number 7 going in here, which maybe was a bit optimistic, but he certainly played like it this major, especially on the Sunday. I've been waiting for illey to have a series like this in some time, because when illey is playing at that level, OpTic are just so hard to beat. Credit to Scump as well. He was a monster in the grand finals. I think one of the most exciting things here, if you're an OpTic fan, is that not only did it seem like this team has not only come so far in terms of the discipline, I think the Search and Destroy was fantastic outside of the FaZe series at the end, but even then they played pretty reasonable. There was a few moments where they're 2-round advantage, they throw it away, which is kind of a classic thing OpTic would do against FaZe last year. So again, I still think there's things going to be improved upon. And also the fact that shotzzy didn't really do all that much in the last year or so, in this series, sorry. Just looking at some tweet that Lime mentioned. We'll have a look at that in a second. But yeah, so shotzzy didn't really do that much. He had like a 0.9 in the grand finals. He wasn't the star player for this team. Dashy was the one with the crazy stats, which I think is kind of to be expected, especially with how he plays on that main AR, which just seems to just be perfect for the role in this game. So look, they're the new team to beat. They've been putting in so much work. I think their Search and Destroy kind of god spots paid off as well. We saw like the shotzzy final round of the Search and Destroy in round 10 to pull off that wallbang spot was pretty incredible. The question is, right, can they keep this up? Because Scump played a phenomenal weekend. It seems like he's really got his passion back for playing at this level again. And, it's been a long time coming for him. The 30th victory is insane. And the fact that he's won his first and most recent championship almost 11 years apart, that longevity is unprecedented. And there's still room for this team to get better. So I think it's a very exciting time to be an OpTic fan, Call of Duty fan, most certainly. I'll throw it to you, Lion, because you've got the jersey on. You said you had a great time watching this weekend. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, so like my predictions, I realized that I seem to go against OpTic because I get the best of both worlds. If they win, I'm happy. And if they lose, I'm right on my predictions. So of course, once they win, I come back fully fledged as an OpTic supporter. But it does seem a little bit flaky, but it is what it is. Yeah, with OpTic this week, it was such great viewing to see them playing for the first time with perfect fundamentals. I tweeted this the other day, and it was just like, doesn't even make sense seeing OpTic play in that manner, like doing everything right in SND. When they get first blood, they're grouping up, they're playing smart. And hard points, their pacing is perfect now. And then seeing Scump pull out different weapons and frying, like it feels really weird because I'm so used to in the last, I guess, since champs and IW. I see you smiling, Rab. Is someone talking shit?
No, that's just funny. Like, that's just exactly right, though. Like, watching OpTic the last few years, you always feel like they're going to find a way to lose.
Yeah, and like I would bet money on them, or I don't actually bet money on COD, but like in a tough situation, I couldn't imagine them like surmounting a comeback like they did against FaZe. Like, especially against that team as well, seeing that completely flipped a switch in their head. They must have just realized and like had the confidence to play the way that they know that they can play. And it was just awesome. They were completely flawless in respawn in the grand final, which is
That's
crazy,
remarkable.
especially against that team. And so I had a lot of fun watching this weekend. I also tweeted out that I'm starting to enjoy watching some of these maps as well. And people were saying like it's just because OpTic's in it, and that has some truth to it. But like I'm starting to enjoy the maps for what they are, and I think I took them at face value at first and didn't really enjoy them, but at this point, I'm actually enjoying the maps somewhat. But yeah, in OpTic, I think just Dashy was absolutely frying, and it's the first time he's really played like that in 3 years, and the whole team just seems to be playing perfectly. And illey was playing at the level that he played at around like stage 4 major last year. Like he played great there, but we see it kind of in moments with illey. And if he can play at that level consistently, I think this team's a force, because I think we're going to get a consistent Seth. He always seems to be like a 1 KD. Sometimes he has those events where he goes a little bit better and stuff, but you don't expect him to drop much less than that. Shotzzy's like the most cracked out player in the league. Dashy, if he's playing like a fucking menace, then you can't beat them. And then illey as well. So it's just kind of crazy to see them at that level, because it's not what I expected at all.
Yeah,
That's
I
good
always
take, Austin.
I always expected them to be like up there. I thought like the top 4 teams going in was
Agree?
us, them, LA Thieves, and I think London, and then like Toronto 5th. So I thought they were always going to do really well. Yeah, obviously I think they're the best control team right now, and that's what's helping them really lock in these series and like take advantage of being good at hardpoint. So I think like the battle between our 2 teams is going to be pretty crazy this year. We play them actually again in 2 weeks. In
Yes.
the third week of the stage 2. Which is
27th of March.
so yeah. The thing is like if illey can stay that consistent, because that's literally the best tournament illey's ever had in his career, by far. If he can keep that up, like he's the X factor for them, because shotzzy, I think he had a 0.9. And Scump did very good, especially on the 3 AR maps. But illey was just like their star with Bruce, which is something I was kind of shocked about. But if illey can keep that level of play up, which is kind of like what we said going into this, if illey can perform better than like around like a 1, this team would be very, very well, or do really, really well. So that's, if he can keep that up, then I feel like if he can keep that up, they're like always going to be contender. So yeah, this team was, their respawns are on lock, and that's pretty much what fans of the dynasty and OpTic in the past have become accustomed to. So I really think they're going to keep that up going throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess new #1 team. We've got to talk about the whole replay drama real quick. What was that like from your perspective?
I guess Alec couldn't even move, so and you could see it on the mini map. So like I'm like, okay, so we had 2 rounds we lagged out. We played well in most of the rounds. So next time we play that, I still have confidence that it'll be a good matchup. So it just is what it is. I just hope it doesn't happen for other teams in the future, because it's just kind of, I just hope it just doesn't happen much in the future. I don't know. Is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to more OpTic FaZe battles, to be honest, for the rest of the year.